Hey, let's talk about buy now, pay later. Thanks so much for joining me for another video. This topic just has sprung out of nowhere, at least in my world. So I've been seeing on a lot of credit reports that I'm looking at these short little installment loans. And I thought, what is this? So there's a couple of really big players. There's one that's called Klarna, QuadPay. There's another one called Affirm. I'm seeing Affirm a lot. And so what this is it's short little installment loans, if you will, that gets reported on your credit, but you didn't even know it got reported on your credit. So let me explain. Let's say you're getting ready to make a purchase and part of their cart or checkout process has, how you're going to pay, PayPal, credit card, or it might offer you this installment payment at no interest over time. And you're like, this is interesting, especially if you are a younger consumer. A lot of really young buyers are loving this for a couple of different reasons. So first off, there's no credit inquiry. Secondly, there's no credit approval or denial process. If it's offered to you, it's available to you. So that is making it really appealing to a lot of people. What you may not know is it is getting reported to your credit report. Now, because it's such a short installment loan, let's say, over 4 months, 6 months, 9 months, something along those lines, it doesn't really help or hurt your credit. And since there's no inquiry, there's no ding on that either for your credit report. So if you have no credit at all, you're 18 years old, you don't have a credit card, you don't have anything to your name, it might be a pretty great way to get started in starting a credit profile. But I do want to have a layer of warning here. It is interest-free as long as you make your payments in the amount of time that they offer to you. Where it can really hurt you is if you miss a payment. So there's this small print, and according to an article that I just read, about 22% of people really even understand these terms. So that says the greater majority isn't even aware of the penalties and the costs involved if they don't make that payment on time or pay it off before that agreed amount of time. So let me explain. Let's say you're late, right? One of the companies says that they have a $38 late pay policy. It's a lot of money, especially if you only finance, say, $100 or $150. And Affirm is one of the companies that says if you're late, they'll start accruing interest. And they accrue interest, you guys, at 30%. It's a huge amount. I can't understand how they even get away with it, but it is what it is. So there's no credit history, there's no approval process or denial process. And if you are looking to do a larger purchase, it does help you spread it out over time without having to put something on a credit card, where credit cards typically charge pretty high interest. So those are the pros to it, but I also want to make sure that there's a level of warning. Sometimes when the money doesn't come instantly out of your bank account, there's no tinge, there's no sting. You're not actually separated from your money. And so because of that, it's called the transparency spectrum. Because of that, it's really easy to do that over and over and over again. And that's where the trap is at. So I just want to make sure that if you are considering going this way, or if you found yourself that you're in kind of this loop of borrowing through Affirm or QuadPay or Klarna or one of those companies, that you realize that it is a trap. It's made easy by design because so many carts get abandoned, right? Like you're at the finish line, you're getting ready to pay, and if it's going to come out of your bank account, for instance, let's say you don't have a credit card, you're like, oh, do I really want to make this purchase? Is it a need? Can I afford it? You have all those questions running through your mind. As a good consumer, you should. And then if you've got it where make 4 lovely little short payments over the next 4 months, and then it's 0% interest, it really makes it easy for you to purchase that. Now you can fulfill that want and purchase more. So it's really great for the companies that are selling, but it could be a very big trap for you. So be careful. This kind of purchase allows us to really indulge and be impulsive. And so if you get into that habit, you might find that that habit shows up other places too. So again, another level of warning. I do want you to know this isn't really a strategy in building credit. This isn't one that I would say to go about if you're trying to build credit. I don't think it will help you very much because it's a short term installment loan. And as soon as an installment loan is paid in full, it's closed. It's automatically closed. So most people don't understand that when they go with this type of purchase, every time it's showing up on their credit report as small, short, little installment loans. That's where I think a lot of people will be surprised. They don't realize that that's an actual installment loan because there wasn't a credit check, there wasn't like this approval process, there wasn't anything like that. So they don't even realize that it is an installment loan. So I just want to make sure you understand when you go this way, you are agreeing to these terms of an installment loan. You are borrowing money. And if you're late, not only are you going to pay some late payments and really high interest, but it's going to ding your credit because it's going to show up that late pay. So don't get caught in a trap. Use it very wisely. I just wanted to touch on the pros and cons of using this strategy. I hope you don't get caught up in something that is bigger than you and you have a hard time getting out of it. But I know a lot of people are utilizing this. The article that I had read had said Affirm, which is just one of the companies I had mentioned, their customer base went from about $3 million this past November to about $5.6 million this past July. So in 8 short months, they've almost doubled their consumer base. So be careful. They're pulling you in. They're dangling that little credit. So just choose wisely, be smart with your money, and please don't bite off more than you can chew. That's the hardest part. That's what trips us up. And if credit is important to you, I do have a podcast called Credit Coaching by Christy. I'd love for you to join me over there. We dig deep into different credit topics. So come join me in the podcast world. And until next time, my friends, stay well.